Hi Pisces, welcome to Spiritualista. This is your weekly energy forecast from the 22nd until the 28th of September. If you'd like a personalized deep dive reading, the link to my Etsy shop is below. Welcome to this new format of a face video, partial face videos. We're going to be introducing ourselves this way because it's a little bit more fun and a little bit more personal. And then I'm going to still show you the cards because right now you can't really see them here. But here they are pink. This is the 9 of Cups. Let's see if it comes out in your reading. So let's get right to it. I'm really excited to see this one, guys. Let's see here, Pisces. Pre-shuffle for Pisces. All right, let's go. Let's see here. All right, Universe, please tap into the highest possible source. And please let me connect to Pisces energy from the 22nd until the 28th of September. All right, Pisces, what do we have going on today for you guys? All right, there we go. Oh, nice. All right, so first one out is the Magician. That's you in your present moment. Super powerful, manifesting your dreams. This is a great energy to be in. So let's start with that and let's see the rest here. So crossing as your challenge is the Queen of Wands, and then crowning in your top of your mind, your conscious mind, we have the 9 of Pentacles, and then in your subconscious mind we have the Knight of Cups. And then let's see here, in your recent past is the World. Just close out the cycle. All right, guys, so completion. And then, ooh, nice victory in the near future here with the 6 of Wands. And then we have your suggested approach or your advice from the universe, which is the Tower. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to tune into that one. Okay. So we have then your surrounding energy, so the people around you, the situations around you, what's going on and what you need to know about, which is the 2 of Swords, and your hopes and fears, which is the 7 of Pentacles. And then we have your potential future here, which is the Temperance card. Nice. All right, so let's see, the bottom of the deck is the Emperor. I was gonna say, is the Empress here? No, it's just not. I don't know why. I had an Empress vibe going on there, but we have the Emperor there at the bottom as the underlying and the undercurrent of your reading today. So let's get right to it, guys. Okay, so Pisces here, right at the center in your present moment, you have the Magician, and that's crossed by the Queen of Wands as your challenge. So this is a good combo, but it's a little bit tricky. I'm picking up on a little bit of a tricky vibe here, and I'm going to explain that to you. So the Magician is all about like his manifestation, right, and willpower. And it tells me that you're currently in this energy here where you're being able to create actions and changes for yourself and to manifest what you want from your life. So there's this huge energy of empowerment in your present right now, which I love to see for you. So that's very positive. And yeah, there's just this energy of being able to take charge and just shape your own path, you know. And now it's definitely the time to do so with intention. But then crossing as the challenge, you have the Queen of Wands. So why it's challenging? Like, it's because it's a challenging position, right? So the crossing is always what you're experiencing as a hardship. So that's the hardship archetype for you this week. And her archetype is all about confidence and charisma, and she's a fire element. So yeah, together, these two cards tell me that your present moment is all about aligning your skill sets with your confidence here. And the Magician gives you the tools to do so, but the Queen of Wands as a challenge gives me an impression that there's still a little bit of doubt in you about your own potential here. And it feels to me almost a little bit like a pretty unusual energy for you to sit in. And now that you've become increasingly more aware of you holding this power here, then you're scared of knowing what to do with that. So you don't trust yourself enough to step into the spotlight and actually use it here. Yeah, so it feels that way, you know, you're just not really trusting in that power, even though you have it, and you know deep down that you have it for sure. So this week, it's like, it's the balance between your inner power and your outer presence and confidence that's going to be the key here for you. And then with the 9 of Pentacles there in your crowning, that's the mind, right? That's the conscious mind. So that's that feeling of independence and self-sufficiency. So again, it does sort of echo pride here in what you've built so far and what you're still building through this Magician energy that you're in. Like, but mentally, yeah, you're focused here on standing really strong in your own accomplishments, And I'm knowing that you've put in the work and you can start actually enjoying the results here. But yeah, this card of the crowning influence shows that you're thinking about what it means to thrive here on your own terms and how to enjoy the freedom that comes from relying on yourself more freely. So you're definitely aware of your power. That's what I'm sensing here. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it feels like you're taking active steps in your healing towards this part here that needs to be healed, you know, where you still have this lingering doubt over your performance as seen here with this challenging card. So that's good. You're doing the work. But there's like a little bit of, I'm getting like a little imposter syndrome sense from this here. We are aware of your power, but there's still like this inner voice in you that's doubting yourself, where you're not just fully stepping into that here. And then your foundation with the Knight of Cups, like that's usually romance actually going on in your life. And you're trying to pursue someone emotionally here. And deep down, you're really motivated by this energy here. That's very like loving and very like heart-centered. And I'm getting a sense of it being, I just want to say like a little bit idealistic as well. But it's also your creativity, and it's like you're longing for more meaningful emotional experiences here. So the Knight of Cups as your base shows me that your foundation is really emotional, but also very practical here. And you're driven by what feels inspiring and like soulful to you. And this is what underlines everything else here in your spread. So yeah. And then the World here in your recent past, like that's completion. That's a card of that. It's a card of fulfillment. So like I mentioned before, this means that you went through the closing of a big chapter here for you. Like something huge just ended here. And recently you've come full circle with something very significant where the cycle ended for you and you got a sense of closure, and there's reaching this new milestone that came after that. And this influence in your past shows me that you've wrapped up something really meaningful. And like now the space is open for what comes next, which is here when the Six of Wands, which is in your near future position. So this is victory. And this is being recognized and celebrated for your efforts. So in the near future, you're going to be stepping into a moment of acknowledgement here where your progress is actually going to be visible. And other people are going to be able to recognize like the value of the things that you've achieved here. So this shows me that success is coming for you. And it's going to be very public. And it's going to be noticed and like appreciated in a very much beneficial way for your healing and breaking out of these doubts here that you've been sitting in with this Queen of Wands crossing here. And then you have the suggested approach with the Tower. So the Tower is always hard. Like it's always about disruption, right? And like a sudden change. So yeah, but it's like not as something just straight up detrimental though. You have to remember that, but rather as a collapse of something that doesn't serve you anymore. So in this position here, as an advice or as an approach, it doesn't mean that you're actively gonna be like choosing this. You have to chase this chaos in a way, but it means that you have to be willing to let these things break down where they need to break down, instead of just holding on to something that's unstable to you and that feels broken or toxic and just not aligned with your path anymore and with your higher purpose here. So the message here is just like, don't cling to the shaky structures out of fear. And sometimes the most liberating thing you can do is to just allow the old things to fall away so that something more authentic can start being built on top of that, you know? And it's no longer this infected foundation that's gonna create an unstable structure that's gonna have to collapse again here. And then what you need to know with the Two of Swords, so that's the energies that are around you right now. And this card is all about decisions and like quite a bit of hesitation here. So what you need to know is that the energy around you might feel a little bit blocked and in this sort of stalemate situation. So, and it's either because someone around you is avoiding a choice, or because they're not doing things through seeing the things clearly yet here. So it tells me that this indecision energy is definitely present in your environment, and also means that you might not have all the information that you want right now, especially from this person here, because I don't feel that this is you. And part of the atmosphere is just all about delay and resistance sort of to make a move here. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles, and that's here in your hopes and fears position. So you hope that your investments are going to pay off with this here. And it makes perfect sense with the hesitancy that you're feeling around this manifestation moment that you have here. And it's that fear that the time and the patience that you've poured into your path and into your projects will actually bring you the results here. But you also fear that you might be waiting too long and realizing that something isn't worth that effort, even if you, of course, hope that it will be. So this card, like, reflects the tension between patience and impatience here, and between you trusting in your process and also you just laying around worrying about wasting your energy in vain, you know? And then potential future here with Temperance, that's looking ahead, like that's balance, that's beautiful, that's like harmony. So in your potential future, Pisces, you're moving towards integration and the blending of opposites here, where the extremes that you're feeling right now are gonna be feeling a little bit more like diluted, you know, and soft. And you're gonna get to find that middle path. So Temperance shows healing, and she shows patience, and just like a more steady rhythm that brings you peace. That your outcome is going to be all about learning to flow with more moderation, you know, and to find harmony after this disruption here with the Tower and the closing of a cycle here with the World card. And then at the bottom of the deck, you have the Emperor at the base. So that's just the undercurrent of the week, which is structure and it's discipline. So beneath everything, there's this big energy of just building order and of you stepping into your authority and just creating foundations that are actually steady and very much reliable to you here. So the Emperor reminds you that while your heart and your intuition is guiding you, the structure and the boundaries are just as important in creating that stability. So Pisces, your week, to summarize it all, it starts here. So this is you where manifestation meets confidence, and where you're being asked by the universe to trust yourself enough to use them with presence and with belief in yourself and your capabilities. And on your mind with the Nine of Pentacles, this is independence and this is self-sufficiency. So, and also with the Root here, it's the emotional drive that motivates everything that you do. And in your recent past, the World there shows completion and closure, while ahead there's promise of recognition here and success with the Six of Wands. So your approach is going to be the Tower, and that's to allow what no longer serves you to just fall away and not cling to it, so that you can rebuild things on truth and on alignment with the energy that you currently have. And around you with the energies is the Two of Swords, that's showing me indecision and just like this blocked energy here, this blocked energy that I do not believe is yours. For sure, there's someone around you right now that's definitely on the fence, but it is very much affecting you here. And yeah, it's definitely affecting you negatively here, and hopefully it won't stay that way for long. So just be discerning about that. And your hopes and fears in the Seven of Pentacles reveal your longing for progress, but also your worry about wasting your efforts. And then Temperance is here in your potential future to just like bring balance and harmony, and just this integration of the lessons that you've been learning in the chapter you disclosed here with the World. And then at the base of everything is the Emperor. So that's reminding you that structure and discipline, it's like underlining your growth, you know, and the bigger story here is one of empowerment and balance, and of using your skills with confidence and just embracing necessary change so that you can find harmony in the process and start trusting both your power to create, but also your patience to let things unfold in their time. And that's all I have for you today, Pisces. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this reading resonated, and if so, please give it a like and let me know in the comments below which part resonated the most with you. And if you want to stay tuned into this channel, you want to be able to find it again, even though it's very small and the algorithm isn't really quite pushing it out the way that it should, then make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you're notified whenever I post, which is every week. And for you guys with water signs, it's every Sunday. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye!